and welcome. My name is Curry, and I am at the Rwandan Embassy in Pretoria, South Africa, and I am fortunate enough to interview His Excellency Mr Vincent Karega. In 1994, Rwanda suffered a terrible tragedy with the genocide, and the country suffered tremendously. However, the country is moving progressively.
Sure.
How did the country manage to do that, especially considering the injustices South Africa still suffers today from the apartheid era? How are you getting it right in Rwanda?
Maybe saying get it right is a response that may invite people to think somebody got theirs wrong and we got it right. We have made a lot of advancement that we are happy and proud with. We still need to do a lot because the society was divided for so long, was so wounded by the genocide against the Tutsis, and it was left vulnerable with many displaced, many people to face justice, orphans and widows. So it was quite chaotic. So bringing together and putting together the pieces was quite a challenge. But if I must come to your question, how did we do it? The first thing to do was our new leadership by then to bring together all the forces, the political forces, the civil society presence, the academia, and the old people with wisdom and experience in culture and also in what has happened in our history, to sit around the table and to start discussing by building a common understanding of what happened, how it happened, and then how do we get out of it. Out of those debates, those discussions and exchanges chaired by the president, then came a common plan or a common vision that we developed as a Vision 2020. So in Vision 2020, there are principles that promotes Rwandans of all walks to decide by building consensus over issues so that we don't get into confrontational politics. Then number two, no matter to which party you belong, but having a common ground, common understanding of where we want to take the country in terms of peace and security, in terms of economic transformation, in terms of governance and so on. So when all sections of society agreed on the way forward, it became easier. The rest was to build institutions, training, put the laws, reform other old laws and create new laws that made Rwanda society very inclusive if it comes to men and women. It also made it very inclusive economically so as to ensure that the grassroots population, the rural population, the poor are also part of the stake in terms of taking decisions in reducing poverty, in terms of playing roles, and also the state creating platforms in which private sector, the intellectual, the academia, the civil society, and the representative of the people themselves, the youth, the women, the councils, at the very lowest grassroots level, could on a regular basis engage and come out with plans that addresses their issues locally, but linking their issues to the broad Vision 2020 of Rwanda. That was also built on the principle of equal opportunities, inclusiveness, unity, reconciliation, gender balance, and taking into account cross-cutting issues such as environment, HIV and AIDS, ICT, and so on.
In 2017, Rwanda ranked 4th in closing the gender gap as per the World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Index, and South Africa only ranked 19th. How was this achieved?
It was achieved by political choice. Our the government, even before getting into government, has had a gender commitment. We come from a liberation movement that even during liberation time, women were at the forefront in decision making, even at the front as soldiers. So it's a movement that was very familiar and working with women. And then women who did not join the front, wherever they were in Europe or other African countries or within Rwanda, they would play a key role in encouraging their sons and daughters to join, in fundraising for the liberation, and also in encouraging, including like praying the old grannies and so on, or remaining with children of those who have gone to the front. So from there, when we were in government, gender for policy was quite a critical policy. And also I must say that the genocide left more women than men, and more vulnerable women, widows and orphans, to be looked after by a single parent, and sometimes children, household held by children. So we quickly realized that we cannot afford to leave out or to ignore the role of women in the change we wanted, either in building peace, in reconstructing the country, in changing the economy. So the policies were very clear. Platforms that we call women structures or councils were formed, and women elected from all levels of society, from the village up to the national level, a representation mechanism that was legalized and made an official structure. Then, based on Beijing and other international commitment, Rwanda committed among the first to ensure at least 30% of women participation in all spheres of society, governance, in public sector and private sector, and also in society, in family and community levels. To ensure that we had a ministry, and within the ministry, monitoring and evaluation systems that will monitor progress, that will carry on the campaign and sensitization. While at the same time, a lot of legal reforms took place. It's not a favor that we do to women. When you have men and women working together, then the production sector grows faster because you have more labor, more knowledge, more capital put into it. And then we have much more balanced families.
I guess from what I understand, education plays a huge role in making both men and women understand that they are complementary.
Exactly.
And not necessarily one is dominant over the other. Mm-hmm. We all have our natural roles, as you say, but we can all
be complementary and see ourselves as equal partners and have mutual understanding and mutual support.
What opportunities are there in Rwanda for the female entrepreneurs who are coming through with the AWM for the conference?
Rwanda is like an emerging economy coming from subsistence economy toward modern and service-based economy. Mm-hmm. So we need energy in all forms, smaller units, household, either solar, biogas, or LPG gas, or electricity, connectivity, and so on. And we also need big electricities, like big dams or generators to power industry that is coming up, tourism and urbanization. We also need all sorts of infrastructure, roads construction, house construction. So investing in civil engineering companies is also an option. Mm-hmm. Investing in IT solution, we have an optical fiber, we have good policy and incentives in ICT. People can put up different solutions in financial sector, education, medicine, anything ICT can enable and then make their money out of it. And the real estate for housing, low income, high-end housing, commercial, and so on. Estate is an area of business. Logistics, like warehousing and tracking systems, public transports, financial sector are still quite not yet exploited. And industry as well, assembling or processing or manufacturing, textile, fashion, design, food, tourism.
What should the delegation that AWM is bringing expect in the land of 1,000 hills?
First, I want to congratulate this group of young professional women.
Yes.
And support their spirit and mindset of connecting young professional African women. So Kigali will be the heart of Africa that they can operate from and connect to South, North, West and East. And make sure that these women network, women of substance, women of knowledge, women who really know where they want to take the world or the continent, are together. Definitely they are still planting the seeds, but I'm confident in the seed they are planting, that they keep on growing and becoming baobab trees with long branches and definitely bigger fruits for women themselves, for society at large, and for the Africa transformation or the Africa we want.
So can you tell us a bit about Muganda Day?
Oh, Muganda, the community work for cleaning, for mutual support happens once every month, the last Saturday of every month in Rwanda. Every community at their smallest level of where they live, they agree on a priority. It can be cleaning, it can be supporting a school, even expanding some of the infrastructure. It is school, clinic, terraces or drainages or street lights, and at the same time get together after the Umuganda for a meeting to look into the ongoing policies, the challenges of policies, and to identify and know the vulnerable people in their communities and see what they can do for their members of community before state or private sector or any other bigger action is done.
President Paul Kagame is loved in Rwanda. How does he achieve such great leadership?
He's loved because when he says something or he passes policy, first he makes sure that it is agreed upon by the institutions, by the leaders at all levels, and it is well understood and discussed with the people. Mm-hmm. So there's ownership. And then he's very hardworking, so he monitors. Sometimes we can have good plans, even budget, but the implementers are not always accurate, they are not always honest, they are not always faster or efficient. So he really has put up platforms, systems of monitoring that prevent things to derail for so long, or things that can prevent also supporting the corrupt, because he fights seriously corruption and he rewards quite well achievement. So he's such an active, committed and hardworking president.